What up guys, Andres here with Steps for Improvement, coming to you from Uppsala. And in this video I'm going to be talking about 5 lessons I learned from the book The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. This is hands down one of the greatest books I've ever read. It's a book that talks about how you can gain more power, more confidence, gain more power in politics, in relationships, in life. I recommend that everyone reads it because I believe there's a law for everyone. Now the cool thing about the 48 Laws of Power is that every single chapter is pretty much a law. And in this video I'm simply going to be talking about 5 of my favorite laws that I found most useful and most applicable to my life. If that sounds good, stick around for the 5 laws that you don't want to miss. Alright, so law number 1, or actually law number 4, is to always say less than necessary. And this is such a great law that gives you this mysterious edge. A lot of times the information that we reveal can be used to our disadvantage. Sometimes we reveal a bit too much, and sometimes we say things that we didn't really mean to say. Even in the book, Robert talks about these transgressions of the law, ways that people didn't use this law. Now let's face it, we live in the 21st century and not the 17th century where we're ruled by kings and courts. But this law can still be applicable, and it's very important to use it to your advantage, to not say more than you actually need to say. Having a mysterious edge to yourself and to your persona is a very attractive trait. All this law does is that it simply tells you to be wary of the information you give out people about yourself, information that could be used against you. So be very careful with the things you tell other people. Now it's actually a pretty beautiful day, it's pretty sunny, and I'm on my way to the train station because I'm about to pick up my bros, because when this video goes live I'll be in Italy, in Rome, enjoying Italia, if that's even the right pronunciation. These sunglasses, they go on and off, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It's sunny. I'm gonna keep the video going. The next law is law number 9. Win through actions, not arguments. This is definitely a very important law. I'm gonna wait till for the bus to pass because it's loud as fuck. But anyways, this is a very important law because action is what matters. Words, arguments, and things you say, things you promise don't mean shit in relation to the action that you actually have to take. I believe that this can very often be seen in people, who brag about things that they want to do or things that they're gonna do. They might get some short-term attention and some short-term validation, but in the long term, the action takers are the winners here. The action takers are the ones history books are written about. They're the winners. So I always like to think twice before I say something that I'm gonna do, I like to think to myself, am I actually taking the action that is necessary to complete this thing that I'm talking about? Or is this simply something that I'm kind of romanticizing about doing? Alright, so a word of advice on this law number 9 is to be the doer and not the sayer. If you're actually gonna say something, you actually gotta do it. Otherwise, there's no point in you bragging or telling people, oh, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, I'm gonna do this in my lifetime. Keep that shit to yourself and work on yourself, work on your goal in silence. Always say less than necessary. Let's keep the video going. Just arrived at the train station. Italy crew checking in. They're about to get off their train. Alright, so the next law is infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. And this law simply states that you have to avoid hanging around with negative people, people that drag you down, people that don't give you no value, people that are unlucky, people that play the victim mindset. And it's true, if you hang around with these unlucky victims and unhappy people, they will drag you down and you will eventually succumb to their crap level, because you are the average of the 5 people you always hang around with. So make sure to do as the law states and avoid the unhappy and unlucky victims to not succumb to their crap level. Now I'm actually on my way to do a goddamn COVID test because I'm going to Italy on Monday. And I've actually got work as well, so I'm gonna pick up filming tomorrow and give you those 2 tips, the 2 laws that you cannot miss. In the city now. My electrical scooter just died, but that's okay. This is a great opportunity to finish the video. It's actually the next day. I hope you enjoyed that little taste of Uppsala, some shots of Uppsala. But anyways, let's keep the video rolling. The next law is law number 25, and that is to recreate yourself. And this is a very important law because, you know, sometimes we get stale, we get stuck in our comfort zones, and that's the time when we have to recreate ourselves, and we have to step outside of our comfort zones. Anyways, like I mentioned, you know, Robert Greene, the author, he really uses these observances of the laws, of really like historical old examples, which, you know, are great. But I like to give a modern example of this law, you know, and that would be 50 Cent. As a lot of people know, 50 Cent is a very well-known rapper, but little do people know that he has recreated himself a ton of times. If you're like me, who's read the follow-up book, The 50th Law, then you know that 50 Cent started out as a very poor person. You know, he had to hustle drugs, hustle crack to fiend for his own life. But, you know, he realized that he cannot sell drugs for his entire life, because he'll either get killed or he'll become stale. So he made the switch to focusing on his music career. You know, he kind of recreates himself and makes these smart moves, small changes in his path. And I'm pretty sure that 50 Cent has his own cognac or brandy label right now. Alright, so I've actually got to head to work again, but I'll give you the last law, and that is the last law in the book, Law 48, assume formlessness. You know, you gotta be able to adapt and become like water. Now, this is a very extremely powerful law that you can use to your advantage. If you're stuck in a situation and you're not moving with the times, then you're gonna be stuck in the past and you're not gonna be able to move forward. You're not gonna be able to succeed in the future. You're gonna be stuck in the past. Let's take COVID for an example. You know, it has really made business meetings, for example, you know, it's really adapted them and digitalized them. I believe that the new norm is going to be, you know, Zoom calls in the future, Teams calls. A lot of jobs are going to become digitalized. You can either accept reality and accept the fact that a lot of jobs are going to become digitalized, or you can stay in the past. Which do you think is going to make you more happier? Which do you think is going to give you more success in your work life, in your private life? Obviously, that's going to be accepting reality, which is assuming formlessness. I hope I gave you a good explanation of Law 48, assume formlessness, which in simple terms pretty much means that you have to accept reality and accept the situation that you're currently in. Now, I'm gonna wrap up the video here, but those were 5 lessons that I learned, 5 laws that I've used to my advantage in my life from the book, The 48 Laws of Power. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, because I upload new videos every single Monday and Friday. And make sure to follow me on Instagram as well, because I'm dropping new content there every single week. And with that all out of the way, I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.